Hello everyone, I'm Eric. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna to continue about my career story. Last time I was talking about I finished the onshore substation for my previous company in Taiwan, and we were full commissioning with the National Grid, which is Taiwan Power Company, and it was quite successful. Even though we have some free issue were not being solved at that time, but at least the main transformer and also the main equipment, all of the testing were finished back to 2 years ago before I relocated to Denmark. So we had a really good progress and also like almost finished the project, and I was being offered to relocate it to relocate to Denmark, and then I started my journey in Denmark back to May 2022. Everything was very fresh to me at the beginning. Like I didn't even have a chance to come to Europe before relocate from Taiwan to Denmark, and suddenly I got 1.5 years contract that I have stay in like totally new country. I never been in the past 27 years in my life. It was quite challenged, but it was also a lot of I had quite a lot of good expectation about moving to a new country. It was like a dream come true. Working in a Scandinavian country, especially Copenhagen. It's a place full of like kids story, like Little Mermaid, etc. But I think the first 3 months when I relocated to Copenhagen, we also had some American colleagues relocate from different parts of United States to Denmark, but they were like 8 months before I relocate. So they were relocate 8 months before me, so they are kind of a little bit familiar with the Copenhagen area. At first time, I found it was quite too difficult to make friends with with local people, like people from Denmark. And after like couples of months, I just gave up. I found that most of my friends are actually expat. Like I had friends back in my previous company from from States, from UK, from Spain, and from Nigeria, and from India, and from Bangla. Yeah, you name it. And we have also some friends from Singapore, of course. I have also one colleague from Korean and also a Japanese. So kind of like very mixing culture in my previous company, but it was not that international in Copenhagen compared to other big cities. I mean, like generally compared to other big cities in Europe, like London or Berlin, or Madrid. Even though I was been to Italy on like 2 years ago on the summertime, I found they're more like Asian. I mean, Asian is like people from East Asian country like China or Japan or Korea. There are quite a lot of Asian community, big Asian community in especially in London. The first time I went to London was was last year or 2 years ago. I cannot recall, but I had a business trip fly from Copenhagen to London, and at that time when I first landed in the international of London, I heard a lot of Cantonese. I believe there is a big community from Hong Kong in London because of after like 2019 the political situation in Hong Kong was very terrible. So quite a lot of Western countries offering people who were born before 1997, which was still like colony of United Kingdom, they offering them this special visa for them to come to the country without having a job offer. So as you know, like one of the most critical things working abroad is that you need to always secure that you have employer willing to sponsor your visa. Visa, it's always a big thing for people, especially people from Asia, want to work in a Western country, because you're not part of the, let's say, if you're not part of the member of the European Union, you don't have the European Union passport, so of course you need the visa. And like compared to Americans, English is not your native tongue, or you're not native speaker of English, so somehow your language skill it's a barrier compared to candidates from United States. Yeah, but never mind. Like in some certain of the, let's say, industry or categories, they are lack of skilled worker. Like I think in Denmark they are kind of lack of engineers for quite a lot of company. Yeah, like my previous company was quite diverse. There are so many like people from all different parts of the world. But let's back to the story. When I first arrived in Denmark, I tried to attend all of the social activity as I can, because I had a lot of colleagues who they were also been expat to Copenhagen from different parts of the world, and I found that it's quite difficult to find a local community. And after I talked with some of my Danish friends, and like they told me, because like Scandinavians, they are kind of more reserved for themselves, and they have it's a very small amount of the population country, right? Like in Denmark, it's only like 5 million people, so they grow up with their if they grow up with their school friends, then they will be school friends like for their whole life, if they didn't go to abroad country to explore more different parts of the world. That's what I learned from my Danish friends. Like I have talked with my American friends too, and they were also quite, they also quite have some kind of culture shock when they first arrived Copenhagen, even though they are old. They are all let's say white people, even though they are all white, but there are differences. There are certain differences between especially Scandinavians and Americans. Americans, they are very good at this kind of small talk. Like if you go to a grocery shop and you are doing like grocery shoppings, like people line up in front of you to pay the money. You can have a small conversation like how was the weather today, and what do you do for a living? This kind of small conversation, it's very very easy to connect with each other, and which is quite normal in States, because I have been to Boston once to visit my relatives, and as an Asian guy, I was quite shy at the beginning, but I learned that's part of American culture. And Taiwan, it's a country that's been influenced by American a lot. So I try to this kind of small talk will create quite a lot of opportunity, or like networking for you. But it doesn't work in, let's say, it doesn't work in Scandinavian countries. Like in Asian culture, because I have been to quite a lot of like I was working in Taiwan, but I have colleagues in Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, and I have been to this Asian countries quite a lot of times. But let's say if you go to work, if you work in Taiwan or if you work in Singapore, or let's say Kuala Lumpur too, it's very easy to get the connection with the local people. Like I had a business trip to Kuala Lumpur for like 3 weeks, and they were all very, very warm, and I feel I feel no barriers between, like, even though I don't speak Malay, I only speak English, and maybe some of the people in Kuala Lumpur they speak Cantonese, but I somehow feel like I was being very warm welcome in Malaysia, like compared to Denmark, which I think I'm not saying this is not good. This is just cultural differences or yeah, but somehow I'm also a little bit tired of this kind of relationship in Asia, because like your parents, your relatives, or your friends will always, or not always, but frequently how do you call this in English, but frequently asking you about your like life situation. Where are you going to get married, and do you have a girlfriend or boyfriend? Even though in an interview, when I had an interview with one of the previous company when I was still in Taiwan, they even asked me if I have if I have a girlfriend or not, or if I have bought a house or not, like this kind of personal private information. Like they were asking me you when you were in an interview, which is quite annoying or quite weird when you are not so that close with that people. So I somehow think maybe the connection of people between each other, the best distance is between like Scandinavian country and also the like East Asian country, because like somehow like East Asian country, they're always more overreacting. Sometimes it's a little bit annoying, but it doesn't mean they are they have the like negative tension to it's just kind of like asking you a situation. It's just how people show love in East Asian country, let's say. But in Scandinavian, once you become friends with Scandinavian, then you will probably become friends with them for the whole life. So that's the differences. And where I was. Yeah, I mean, after I relocated to Copenhagen, I joined the project. It was like 25 people in our project team, and we have 13 different nationality, which was quite diverse. So everyone, I don't really feel like I'm working in a really Danish culture at that time, because there are so many different project members from different parts of the world, like people from America, or people from Asia like me, people from Africa, and most of them from European countries, right? But you somehow feel very diverse in this kind of project, and we have supplier in all different parts of the world. I think that's the best part of that project I have done last year, because we have a shipyard building like substation construction stuff in Singapore, and we have supplier like we have heavy equipment from different parts of Europe, like we have small equipment from Slovenia, we have equipment from Switzerland, and we have equipment from also Sweden. So all this kind of culture, you coordinate and you communication with different stakeholders from different countries. You somehow involved in this project a lot. You will learn how people behave, or let's say how people you will learn different culture from different countries. Then you somehow become a like global player or global leader, which is like one of the best projects I have ever done, and it's a Taiwanese project. So I'm actually doing like contribute carbon net zero carbon emissions in my home country. Yeah, that's a benefit, but I will not say unfortunately, but when times move on, and in Denmark, like in career in Denmark, or like general in Europe, but probably more frequently to see in a Scandinavian country, like people changing job quite frequently. I found that people like changing their job every 2 or 3 years in Denmark, probably also other Scandinavian country. But back to my home country in Taiwan, and one of the things I was really shocked is that people will just maybe tell their manager directly that, oh, I'm gonna to have an interview with other company tomorrow, and this is a big no-no in East Asian country. Like in South Asian company, they kind of expect you to show your loyalty to a company, which is totally doesn't make sense. After I work in Denmark for a while, and I also become like I kind of support this kind of culture, or like professional culture in Denmark now compared to East Asian country, because I don't think you need to show your loyalty to a certain company. Loyalty doesn't pay. There is a saying, loyalty doesn't pay your salary. The only thing pay your salary is the value you create for the company. It's not the loyalty. So if you feel like you are kind of stuck in the middle of these corporation leaders, you just find something else for yourself instead of stuck in one position for too long. Otherwise, the company will just treat you as a slave, because they think you have no ability to move to another company. Then why do I have to treat you better? I give you this salary, you will stay, then why do I have to pay more, right? So that's what I learned when I start to work. After I start to work in a Scandinavian country for quite a few years. Yeah, but after that I switched to another Danish company. So I stay in Copenhagen. I was expected to be relocate to Singapore after I finished my contract in Denmark, but due to some recent internal my previous company, so I decided to look around different opportunity, and I got this better pay job. I probably been increased quite a lot of like 20 to 30% of my base salary compared to my previous company, and also got additional pension. So I have to move around, and actually after working for this company for almost half years now, my like the loading of my job, it's quite similar, and I was doing almost the same scope, just like when I was in my previous company. So I'm quite satisfied with the situation I have now, but this company it's more like a more local Danish company. So like most of my colleagues, at least they are Europeans. Like in Copenhagen office, it's still more diverse, but I can feel like most of them are like European, like very few Asian in this in our office. And if you go to an office in Jylland, it's a city in Jylland, and it's in Jutland, and it's called Esbjerg. If you go there, like 80% of colleagues in Jutland are Danish, so you're supposed to learn Danish. That's the reason why I start to learn Danish for quite a few months, and I feel good to learn new language, but it's a difficult language. So let's see if I can fluency in Danish at the end of this year. I hope so. Yeah, but that's part of my like second part of my career story, but maybe I can tell more in my next video. Yeah, so thanks for your support, and if you don't mind, please don't hesitate to like and subscribe my channel and video, and let's see you next time. Bye bye.